Hello YouTube, welcome back to Outside Boys. On this channel today, I'm going to be taking the engine off this Apollo 125 and putting all this on it. This is one of the reasons why I haven't made a video about it in a while, because I blew the gasket out of it that's right here. It connects the carburetor to engine. I blew that gasket out of it, and I was thinking, well, why not just get an entire gasket kit for it, or just put all the gaskets in it, since I'm having to replace a gasket anyways. And then I got looking around on Amazon for gasket kits, and then I seen a big bore kit. I've heard of them several times, never had one. So I also got to looking, and then ended up getting a big bore kit, which if any of y'all know what that is, I need to clean this off. But if any of y'all know what that is, what it is basically this shaft where the piston goes, which it comes with a new piston, because this whole shaft thing is bigger on this than it is on a stock. So it basically gives you a bigger piston, which means more compression, and you can put a better spark plug in it to have more spark, more compression, which means I run a high performance carb on it, make it even faster, which I have down there, which I just showed y'all. So if I have more fuel, more spark, more compression, more speed. That's the whole point of me doing the big bore kit. But to do that, or to make it easier for me to do that, what I'm going to do is take the entire engine off and put it up here on my desk, bench, whatever you're going to call it, to work on it easier. Which there isn't too much required in that. There's this one bolt that is back here, right there. There's this one bolt that's here. And then there's 3 bolts that's on the bottom that connect to this bracket. I should have a 4th one right there, but I'm missing one. So that means there's only 3. So that means that's going to be 4 bolts. And you take all 4 of them out, and then the engine will just come right off. And I'll obviously disconnect the fuel line and that kind of stuff. Unplug the wiring that runs to the engine, which I'm pretty sure the only wiring that runs to the engine is the stator. I'll have to disconnect all these lines and stuff, that kind of stuff, take the chain off, stuff like that. But I guess let's go ahead and get started. What I'll probably do is take the chain off first, take the fuel line off first, or take the chain and fuel line off first, and unbolt the exhaust from the engine. And I do not know what's going to be easier to take this clutch cable, if it's going to be easier to unbolt it from here, or unpin it. I don't see a way to. It's probably underneath it, which makes the kickstart off for. I'll have to unplug this, which I already did. That's easy. Unplug the stator, which it runs up here. It should just be a plug, I hope. If not, I'll just unhook the stator from the engine. And other than that, I don't really have to take anything else off necessarily. I'll probably do that off camera, and then just fast forward the process of taking the engine off. Probably what I'll do off camera, just so it doesn't take too long. Just figure out how to get the throttle cable off, and figure out if the stator has a plug on it. Unbolt these 2 to take the bracket off, which holds the clutch cable. And that's probably all I'm going to do off camera. Since I know how to fast forward videos now, I'm just going to fast forward the process of taking this engine off. I'm going to do that, and then continue the video when I'm done with it. There we go. I got the chain off, I got the shifter off, I got the gas disconnected, I got the throttle off, I got the clutch off, got everything off and disconnected. I took the exhaust off, it's right down here. there's all the stuff. Here's the sprocket for the chain. Here's the kick. There's not the kickstart. That's kickstart. Here's the shifter. I still think of the word. So everything's off. I even went ahead and took the 2 bolts off that was here. The one that was right about, man, where is it? When it was right here that I showed y'all. It bolted to the back of the engine. Then I found one that was up here. It bolted to the top of the engine. I took both those out. And they are right here. So all that's done and ready. So the only last step is taking this engine off. Is the 3 bolts on the bottom. I haven't not even loosened them or nothing. That's the last thing holding this engine in. So I'm going to put y'all on the tripod and start that process. I'm going to film that whole process of taking that off and bringing it up to the desk up here. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, the engine is now off, and it looks pretty weird. But the engine's off, everything else is off, the engine's over here, and that's pretty much just that. I think I already have a racing spark plug in here. I do have one that's down here, racing spark plug too. I ended up having to cut these two wires because there wasn't any plugs on them. All the rest of them had plugs, but this yellow and this white didn't have plugs on it. They had these for the yellow and the white, so I could not unplug them. So I had to cut them, but all the other ones are right here for the stator. And those of y'all that do not know what a stator is, let me turn this engine around real quick. It is a thing that goes behind this that charges. If you have a battery, it charges your battery. On this, all it does is just send spark to spark plugs, which is electricity. And that's generated by this spinning fast enough for the thing, which the stator inside to grab, which then sends it spark. And if you have a battery, it's also what charges a battery while you're running your vehicle. Or four-wheeler. I do not know if real vehicles have an alternator, not a stator. It's a little bit different on these little engines. Just a little bit. I can show you in stator. I'll have to go to the other shop, grab a stator, and I can show you what one looks like. Here you go. This is what a stator looks like. Pretty much the same thing. There's still that box thing there. The stator, obviously this one's not going to look the exact same as this one. It might not. I don't know. I'll probably find out. Y'all are going to find out in this video too. But this is what a stator is. And what it does is when this spins over here, it detects something. Like these grab something that's on the inside of there or get really close. And it's kind of like a magnet. It's kind of like an electromagnet. Basically electricity generated from magnetism is basically what this is. Which then that electricity goes into spark and then charging your battery. Stuff like that. That one's obviously not for it because it came off of a scooter. So that one's gonna be fun. And what I'll probably also end up doing is I may, since this bike's taken apart anyways, I may redo this entire bike. Like just repaint it, paint the frame, sandblast the frame, get it looking real good. Clean the entire thing, obviously. If you're gonna paint it, you gotta clean it. Just redo it. Make it look good. Even though it looked pretty good before, but it wasn't clean. I'm talking about like actually cleaning it out and then redoing it. What I'm doing to sort out all my bolts, these are the bolts that bolted the engine down. And then these are the bolts that go to the, what's that thing called? I forgot what that's called. And these bolts, I just left them inside here for this cover. This goes to this hose, which that's the last bolt I almost forgot about taking out. Last time I tried pulling the engine out. The exhaust, the seat. There's the gas tank. Over there. So it's not too bad. The wiring's very, very simple on this thing. Obviously, it doesn't need much. This is all the wiring harness. That's all it needs, and one more thing that's up under here. That's literally the entire wiring harness. It does not need very much at all. unless I put a light on it. Then it'll need a little bit more wiring. But there's already wires for the light, because it used to have a light on it. They are here. So it has wires for lights. I do not know where that light is, but I took it off because it got really loose and almost fell off. So I just went in and took it off, just so it didn't fall off while I was driving it. May put a light back on it. I do not know what color I want to paint it if I redo this entire bike, since it's already apart. I was thinking about doing the entire body in blue, doing the shock, or these shock towers, and the steering system. Well, probably not the steering system. I'll probably leave that black still. But that in white, just doing like this part in white, or I may just do the steering wheel, something like that in white. Doing back here red, whole body blue. Maybe do the whole frame red, the whole body blue, or something. I don't know. That's if I redo this whole thing. I don't really know what color I'm going to paint it. I'll have to figure it out, I guess, if I'm going to redo it. I might not. I don't know yet. So that's what we're doing right now. The next thing we're going to do is obviously take this entire engine apart. But all this and this on it, and then it should be good. First thing I'm going to do is take the carburetor off. I will clean the carb out before I put it on, or put that one on and clean that one out. I don't know. One of them's going back onto this and getting cleaned out. So I guess I'll go ahead and take the carb off, and then do a few other things, and then get y'all back on the tripod and filming me take the engine apart when I'm done. Okay, here we go. I ended up cleaning the engine off. I've not taken it apart yet. I ended up cleaning it off to where when I take it apart, no dirt will just fall in it, because I don't want any dirt falling in it, even though I'm replacing this. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Yeah, that's what it is. Even though I'm replacing this, I still don't want any dirt falling in it, because I'm not replacing any of this, just the gaskets for the whole thing. So there ain't no point in me dumping dirt in it, and then me having to clean the engine out after I already taken the entire thing apart. And I found out the original issue, like I already said, the whole reason why I bought the gasket kit and then found the big bore kit and everything else was because this gasket was leaking. Then I found out when I took it apart, there was no gasket. There was no gasket there at all. Just none. So that's why there's just no gasket there. So that's the issue we had, is not even having a gasket there. We thought the gasket just had a leak, but it wasn't even there. So now, I have the gasket. It's in that pile of gaskets, and I have every other gasket for this engine, and a big bore kit. All because of us not putting a gasket there, or the previous owner not putting a gasket there. Who knows? One of the two. So I guess I'm going to go and get started with taking this engine apart and getting that whole thing done and ready. The only thing I did to clean this engine off was just spray it with some of this carb cleaner and just wipe it down with a rag. That's all I did. I didn't clean it. I'll do that later. When I put it back together, I'll clean it. Or when it's apart, I may re-clean it. So I guess let's stop talking and then get to work, and I'm taking this apart and putting it back together. I'll go and put y'all on this and then start taking that apart. Here we go, YouTube. This is where we left off. The issue what I was having when I took this engine off and apart is that this is bigger. Like, this diameter is 140 centimeters, and the one on the big bore kit I ordered is 124 centimeters. And this is big bore kit for a 125. And if this diameter is so much bigger than this one, which it is, and let me find the size. Yeah, 124 centimeter. My bad. And this one, where is it at? I think it is somewhere on here. There it is. 140 centimeter. So that means this engine is probably a 200 or 250 cc, or maybe a 170, because of how much bigger diameter this is than a 125 big bore kit. So I'm gonna have to put this back together how it was, and I'm gonna have to customize the new gaskets that I get, because I do not want to order anymore. Already opened them, so I cannot send them back. And all I need to do is just trim a little bit up there, a couple other things, because these gasket kits are obviously for a 125, which this engine's not, apparently. The reason why I thought it was a 125 is because this plate says 125, or one of these do. No, it's a 123. Don't know if y'all see that, but it's right there. 123.7 cc. So it's not even a 125, it's a 123.7 cc is what the stock engine was. But apparently this is not a stock engine. It is bigger. So that's where I'm at, and just ran out of carb cleaner. So I have to go get some more carb cleaner and then finish putting this back together and get this thing back running. At least now I have the gasket for the carburetor, which is right there, to where then it will run how it should have. And I'll have to send that kit back. So I guess that's all for now until I get more carb cleaner. Oh, and also I am going to take these two colors, which is a navy. Wait, hang on, what color is it? I think it's navy. Yes, navy. And this one's banner red. I'm taking those two colors and repainting this entire bike. Obviously, need to clean the frame up and body panels up and everything before I repaint it. So I'm just going to redo this entire bike. Just make it look really good and that kind of stuff. So I guess, see you in a little bit when I get carb cleaner, and I'll finish putting this engine back together and get this bike up and running. Okay, on this engine, I got some carb cleaner and the rest of the parts to fix it and finish it. But what I'm going to do is put this entire engine back together off camera, and then just not film the entire process of putting the engine back together and cleaning the whole engine, because that's going to take absolutely forever. So I'm going to do that, and then pick it back up when I'm done with that. Okay, there we go. I'm done. I got the entire engine put back together. The carburetor on, all the gaskets on, everything on here. These two is what goes on this to hold the clutch to the bike, and then obviously connects to here to work the clutch. So everything is now done with the bike, except for I'll probably go ahead and pop this hose on. Okay, without the engine falling, preferably. There we go. Engine didn't fall that time. Anyways, after I pop this on, then it'll be done with putting this on. Then I'll need stuff to clean the frame up. What I'll probably end up doing is just taking sander thing, cutting all these zip ties, all the wiring harness on. I can re-zip tie it, and just sanding the entire frame down to bare metal, and then painting it. Probably do the same with the plastics. Obviously, I have to take the plastics off the bike, and then, except for those plastics, they're already off the bike. Just take the plastics off. This front one I do want to leave the same, so I'll probably just wash it real good. The first step's probably washing the entire bike and all the plastics and everything, then sanding them, and then painting them. So this is probably all I'm going to do in this video. I may make this video kind of like the Folder series I'm doing, just in parts. Just do kind of like a rebuild parts series on this bike. And this could be part 1, just obviously so I don't have like a 6-hour long video that I have to edit down and everything, which takes absolutely forever. So this is probably all I'm going to do for part 1, is just get everything done, put the engine on, or get the engine cleaned out and rebuilt, basically. Get the engine off and everything. And then part 2 of this, I'll be sanding, painting, and everything else. I'll probably film the cleaning part. I do not think I'm going to film the painting part, because everybody knows how to use a spray paint can. I mean, it's just easy. And also, there's no real point. It just takes forever. There's more editing I have to do, which takes a long time. So yeah, that's just it for part 1. Like, subscribe to my channel to see more content similar to this. I also do RC cars on this channel, and other things like that. It's not just this and RC cars. So subscribe, ring the notification bell to where y'all can get notifications when I post more videos. And then that's it. Make sure to leave a like on this video. Comment down below if you want to. It helps sometimes. See y'all for part 2 for this.